Hi everybody, we're going to get real today. Sarah Outlaw here from Natural Health Improvement Center, South Jersey, and Natural Health Improvement Center of Des Moines. Getting myself in a little hot water today, giving you some controversial things to talk about and think about as we get through our Friday. Way to end the week with a bang, right? So, okay, lowering your blood cholesterol levels will prevent heart disease. We're going to be talking about some top 10 medical myths today. We are not going to be messing around. We're going to be telling you the truth. You've been duped, and we're going to be telling you what that is about. So cholesterol, we've talked about this last week or the week before. We are talking about it again today. Science has never been able to link cholesterol with heart disease. Never, never. What you eat as far as fats does not affect your blood lipids. So don't worry about the coconut oil. Don't worry about the good healthy fats, avocados, those types of fats. They are good for you. Careful examination of the study that they supposedly did demonstrated that cholesterol lowering drugs worked. They failed to translate into a significant number of lives saved. So it didn't translate. The statin drugs actually made people worse. They actually give you more of a likelihood of getting Alzheimer's and those other things. So that is the first myth that lowering your blood cholesterol levels will prevent heart disease. That's not true. Myth. Okay. Number 2 myth, screening for cancer catches it early and saves lives. Mammograms, cervical cancer screenings, and the latest PSA screenings have never been shown to save lives. Never. All screening tests are highly inaccurate. I have many friends, that have gotten false positive on mammograms. I have actually had a friend who had a mastectomy and they found out later that she didn't even have cancer. How horrible is that? Right? That is absolutely horrendous. So you have to really be careful with these screenings, and you're more likely to die from prostate cancer with a PSA screening because of the radiation. Also mammograms can give you radiation and also can contribute to radiation and cancer. So what we're finding is that thermography is the best kind of screening for breast cancer, and other screenings will be safer that don't use radiation. So it is a myth that lives are saved through mammograms. I'm sure some are because you find it early, but then guess what? The chemotherapy and all those cancer curing drugs, right? Cancer killing drugs are actually killing people as well. I have many people, I actually just lost a friend recently to cancer who decided to go ahead and get the treatment after doing pretty well on not getting treatment, and they ended up dying right after the chemotherapy, and they could have made it, and that's really, really sad. Okay, let's talk about teeth. The mercury in your fillings is permanently locked in and therefore harmless. That is not true. Go on YouTube and look up mercury fillings. There's a little YouTube video of a mercury filling outgassing, and you can see it when it's exposed to body temperature, it actually outgasses, and the mercury gets up into your brain and down into your thyroid. So we are seeing very, very serious issues with mercury poisoning in our patients. And also, when you go to get it taken out, you have to make sure you go to a biological dentist, because if you try to get it taken out by your regular dentist, it is not safe. You actually get toxified. You can't just rip the mercury out of your teeth. You have to actually get it taken out safely and contained so that it doesn't evaporate into the vapors don't get into your brain or into your thyroid. That's what happens. That's why there's so many thyroid issues and brain issues now, neurological, because of mercury is just going back and forth and back and forth, and we always find it in those areas. All right, so the vapors are time released. They migrate to various parts of the body, including the brain. They cross the placenta in pregnant women, so mercury crosses the blood-brain barrier. So why do we test babies and we find that they have mercury in their systems at birth? Why? Because it crossed the blood-brain barrier. The mom has it in her system and it crosses over. So those are things you have to keep in mind, that babies are actually getting toxified in the womb before they're even born, and that is absolutely crazy. Fluoridating the water in dental products is good for your teeth and stop tooth decay in children. That is not true. Fluoride is a neurotoxin. It's actually toxic to the body. It makes you stupid. That's why Hitler used it to make the Jews dumb down when they were in the concentration camps, and that is horrible. And I notice it that when people drink a lot of fluoridated water, they seem to be a little bit more down a little bit, not the brightest bulbs in the shed. Okay, so all right, so. We also know that it causes brain dysfunction, lowers IQ. It can also contribute to Alzheimer's disease. So those are things you have to understand. Vaccinations. Oh, here's a good subject. Vaccination has conquered infectious disease. No, it hasn't. Go look at the stats. I do a really, really amazing vaccine workshop that I don't broadcast live for safety reasons, but when we do have it again, make sure you come and see it, because we talk about the stats and we have it in graphs. I like stats. I like to see things on graphs. I like to see things going up and down, up and down. And what we've noticed is that the incidence of vaccines correlate directly with not causing the decline in the disease. They actually, it's because of hygiene. So when your hygiene gets really good in this country and the other countries, then the disease level went down. It had nothing to do with the vaccines. It was just a coincidence. So those are things that you have to understand and do the research, because it's all out there for you. You just have to know where to look. And I can help you with that. If you want to know, just ask me. I will be happy to give you information on vaccines and why they suck. So, women need hormone replacement after menopause to protect from osteoporosis and heart disease. All the major studies supposedly demonstrating a survival benefit with HRT is criticized as bias and flaws. Follow the money. You need to know where these studies come from. All of this, remember that study that came out recently about that coconut oil was horrible for you and we've all been tricked, and guess who it was paid for by? The corn people. The corn agriculture, big agriculture paid for that study. So you need to know, when I did my master's program, that was one thing that we learned how to do. We learned how to follow the money, follow the bias. And so I'm really, really good at that now, at figuring out, oh, you paid for that study. Oh, you paid for that study. You're big pharma, you're big agriculture. They all suck, people. So, okay, so continuing on, modern drugs have conquered many diseases. Hang on a second. Drugs don't cure anything. Drugs suppress symptoms rather. So a drug suppresses a symptom. We've talked about this a million times in these videos, haven't we? We talked about how the autonomic nervous system runs on nutrition and heals the body through the nutrition that it brings in. A drug bypasses the autonomic nervous system to force the body to make a change, and it suppresses the symptom. I have people coming in every single day on medications, and guess what happens? They have medication reactions, they have medication-induced things, they have medication, problems all the time. I had somebody go on steroids last week for something, and she came in and she's covered in like a contact dermatitis from the steroids. You cannot expect a medication to fix your problem. Only nutrition can fix the autonomic nervous system. You have to take whole food supplements like standard processed supplements to actually get your body well. And you can't depend on medications to cure you, because they don't. And there's a million side effects that cause so many problems that you are worse off than when you started. And I see that every single day. We're seeing about 250 people a week in this office, and between here and Des Moines, Iowa. And we know for a fact that the drugs are not helping people, they are harming people. All right, next up, that's a subject in itself, isn't it? Routine x-rays aren't dangerous. Yes, they are. They could be responsible for 4% of leukemias and up to 8% of all other cancers. So all it takes is one cell mutation in your body, right, to lead to cancer. We all have cancer in our bodies, but our bodies are actually killing it. But radiation and those other types of chemical and metal and environmental onslaughts prevent the body from being able to do what it's supposed to do, which is heal itself. So you really have to understand that all these routine tests, they all cause damage to the body. So you want to minimize your exposure to these types of things. Mental health has nothing to do with diet. Oh my gosh, are you freaking serious? Yes, it does. There's a huge link between the gut and the brain, right? We talk about the microbiome, the gut-brain connection, the gut-brain axis, all of these types of things. We know for a fact 100% that what you eat affects your brain. If I eat wheat, I feel like I'm going to have to go to sleep. If I eat sugar, I get a migraine. I feel really ragey and not very nice. Maybe I had sugar this morning. Oh wait, no I didn't. This is just ragey because of the mist that we're talking about. All right, next up, cancer survival statistics are improving thanks to chemotherapy. Can we just pause for a moment? We all know people that have died from cancer, right? I just had a friend from high school that was in my husband's class, passed away last week from colon cancer. He was 41 years old. That shouldn't be happening, okay? You shouldn't get chemotherapy and then die from it. You shouldn't have your body poisoned and then die. You should be able to heal your body from cancers. And people do it all the time. We hear of these amazing stories of people healing their body from cancers. Chemotherapy has an overall cure rate of 9%, and that's usually for the rare cancers. It doesn't affect in any way the solid tumors, which make up some 90% of all cancers. So it is a myth. I've seen people go from looking healthy to dead very, very quickly from getting chemotherapy because it's such horrible poison and their bodies can't handle it. So these are pretty shocking statistics, aren't they? These are the top 10. We talked about lowering your blood cholesterol will prevent disease. Screening for cancer catches it early and saves lives. Mercury in your fillings aren't toxic. Fluoridating water is good for you. Vaccination conquers diseases. Women need hormone replacement therapy. Modern drugs conquer diseases. X-rays aren't dangerous. Mental health has nothing to do with diet, and cancer survival statistics are improving thanks to chemotherapy. These are all myths. They're not true. I have the research to back it up. I can tell you what it is. You can look at David Slater. He's president of the NIA. There's also Chris Gupta. Look up Chris Gupta. He has a lot of information. Go ahead and look online at Dr. Mercola, Dr. Axe. I mean, all these people who are prominent in our natural health community are talking about things. Go to PubMed and look up the actual research studies for yourself. You need to know these things. Don't believe things that people say. Just because Sarah says it too, don't believe me. Don't take my word for it. Who am I, right? I'm just a nutrition practitioner, right? So you have to make sure that you're doing the research yourself. Follow the money. Follow where the research goes. Look up the reputable sources and heal yourself. This is your job. You got to heal yourself. You got to help yourself with your healing and your nutrition. So if you need my help, you know I'm here. I'm always here for you guys. So I'm in New Jersey and in Iowa, and it's apparently spreading all over the country from what I hear. So give us a call at 856-667-6005 to set an appointment. We have a little bit of a waiting list now to get in. We also have our Des Moines, Iowa office at 515-809-8747. Have a wonderful Friday everybody. It's a beautiful day here in New Jersey. I'm looking forward to a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you soon.